Hello everyone, welcome to another video. It is me, Desiree. Let me put that plant down. I switched up the background a little bit, thought I'd come film some videos in the front room. I love these plant shelves that I have so much. I think I want to film videos in here more often. Let me know what you think. I think I figured out the lighting as well, so it's not gonna be so bright like it was last time. Anyway, today, for some reason, I thought it would be fun because you know I like to share the good and the bad here on my channel. I show the good plants, I show the ones that are suffering and the ones that are dead. And I thought I would share with you my saddest, I was gonna say the word pathetic, but it's not. It is what it is. But this is my saddest plant collection, and it's my ferns. If you have been here for a while, you know my struggle with ferns is so real, which I think a lot of us struggle with ferns a lot. But I have some ferns that I have just been stringing along. They're doing their very best. One of them is thriving for some reason, but the other ones are just like, they're hanging on by thread and I can't bear to let go. I'm gonna hang on with them to the bitter end. So let me show you my first fern, the one that is doing really well. I don't know what kind of fern this is, but I did show this in, I think this was in my monthly favorites video for April. I love this guy. I love this plant so much. This plant just always encourages me, and I don't know why. It's just, I mean, look how freaking bright green it is. I want to say it's a Boston fern. I really don't know, to be honest. But this little guy was in an arrangement, and I only bought the arrangement because I wanted the pot that it was in. And it's funny that I say that because that pot, I don't even use it. I don't even like it anymore. It had like a heart on it, and at the time I was like, that's the cutest pot I've ever seen, and it's sitting outside. Like, I never use it. But I was just being impulsive, and it was on clearance and I had to get it. It had a plant arrangement in it that was completely dead, except this. And it had a little bit of life in it, like it was really small, just barely hanging on. But I felt bad for the plant because I did just dump all the stuff out, and it was kind of just there on the dirt in the ground, all messed up, and I was like, oh, I feel kind of bad. I'm gonna try to save it. So I just brought it in, and I don't know why this one grows so nicely. I mean, it grows kind of slow, but it recently just exploded and it grew a bunch of new little fronds. It's bright green, there's no dry parts on it, and I have let this get all the way dry, but it seems to bounce back really, really well. And I was kind of foolish because I had this one and I was like, well, if I can grow a fern, a baby fern, if I can keep that baby fern alive, I bet I could keep ferns alive. I bet I just have the touch and I could do it. And I have bought so many ferns over the last year. They come in, they're full of life. I feel so good. I'm like, oh, I'm gonna do it, and then they die. I've repurchased the same ferns multiple times and then put them in the same spot and they've died. And this is the one that gave me the encouragement to buy those ferns. And I was foolish. I was a foolish gal back then, but this is my best fern. It's so cute too. And I think because where I have it in the kitchen, I see it all the time. So I'm always wanting to water it and check on it. And some of the other ones I put out of sight, out of mind, and I completely forget about them. The next one I have, I just watered. So I'm gonna keep the little plastic underneath it. I don't know what this one's called either, of course, but I've had this one for a little while. And I think I featured this in a video because if I'm not mistaken, I remember talking about the little design on the leaves. It has all these little white dots around each leaf, and it looks so cool. I think from there, this plant looks a lot better than it does, but it is just stringy. There are a lot of like, just strings here that have no leaves on them. There are some here that look okay, and then it has a big dead stick coming out of it. I have no idea why this plant is alive. This one has no business being alive because I forget about it all the time. I keep it on my top shelf right there on my little bookcase thing. I forget about it all the time. It gets dry as a bone all the time. But I was really, really encouraged by another fern I'm gonna show you that just started growing new little pieces. So I thought, well, you know what? Even if all of this eventually dies, if I keep up on the watering, it'll grow new. Some new stuff will start growing out of it. So that's kind of my hope for this plant. It looks good from there though, doesn't it? And it's like bright green. But in real life, it's just like, it's okay. It's okay, you know, it's doing its best with what it has. And it doesn't look as that bad, I don't think. I do want to move it to another spot though, because where I have it, it's on a top shelf. So I see the drainage, the drip tray thing and the pot, and then I see the plant. And I think if I put it like at eye level, it might be better. I don't know. The next one I have is this one, and I have shown this in a video as well. I think this was also in my April favorites video. I need to cut this leaf off. I feel if I've cut that leaf off, I'll appreciate the plant a little more. I'll put the name on the screen here because this is one I remember and then I immediately forget. And of course I've forgotten it. It grows the coolest looking leaves. And this one actually stopped me in my tracks because it looked like lettuce. And I thought it was a lettuce plant that what they had for sale with the house plants. I don't know. I feel like my dog's doing something he shouldn't be doing. BRB. Oh, he's not doing anything wrong. But he found that toy that we tried to hide from him recently because he just sits there and licks it like he's gonna do now. He'll just lick it and lick it and lick it and we could just hear him and it's like so frustrating, but look, he found it. So there he goes. Whatever keeps him occupied, you know, it's totally fine. Anyway, I thought this was actually a lettuce plant. So then I picked it up and I was like, what is that? It's so cool, so beautiful. Of course it's a fern, so I completely immediately forgot that it existed and never watered it. It grows really cool, like this big leaf on this tiny little wiry stem. It's so beautiful. I'm gonna cut that off right now, actually. Like, why do I have this there? I'm gonna cut this leaf off. I'm gonna pretend it's not even there. Anyway, this is the plant here, and I was really encouraged with this other one to keep going with it because this one is regrowing from here. And someone left me a comment saying that it does regrow from the little thingy there. So even if you were to like cut the whole plant down, as long as you have a good like nice root system and that like rhizome thingy is healthy, your plant will regrow. And as long as you just take care of it. So all of this is new growth here. And look at that little leaf that's growing. It's so cute. It's got that little blue farina on it and it's just gorgeous. So I'm very encouraged with this one here. So even if these other leaves kind of fall off, I will stay on top of this and hope it regrows. And it is in like one of these kind of pots. So I feel like I just keep water in here and it seems to kind of suck it up through the bottom and I keep it moist. I've been keeping it moist and it seems to do pretty well with that. But again, it's kind of like, I don't show this one off to anybody, you know? It's just my little personal project and I feel encouraged from it. You know, I really like this setup in here. It just feels more natural, more homey, not as bright because I'm not sitting right in front of the window. Let me know what you think because I kind of really like it in here a lot. Okay, next plant. Ugh, this is the last one I have. And this was a gift. This was a Christmas gift from one of my coworkers. And she came in and dropped this plant on the table. She's like, I got this for you. And I was like, how did you know I even liked plants? And I completely forgot. We had put a Secret Santa thing up by the time clock. And we put on there like, of course, our name, what we liked, our hobbies, interests, food, and stuff like that. And I put in there plants. So she bought me this fern. And I immediately like had a small heart attack because I thought, I should have wrote on there that I love houseplants except for ferns. Don't get me a fern if you want it to live. And I have been desperately trying to make this thing live ever since. I mean, I've had it since December, so I think it's doing pretty good. If you look closely though, there is a lot of like dead stuff in here. I don't know if you can see. A lot of dead stuff in here, a lot of dry stuff, just like the other one. This is in one of those saucerless pots. Let me see if I can pull it out. Oh, it's heavy because I just watered it. It's in a saucerless pot, so it has like a reservoir of water in there. And I didn't think I was gonna like those kinds of pots, but every plant that I've bought that's in one of those pots is doing so good. But I have no idea where to buy those pots from. Anyway, I make sure and keep this plant very wet. My boyfriend even reminds me constantly. He's like, when's the last time you watered that fern? And I said, oh, about a week ago. He goes, water it again. Or if I watered it yesterday, he goes, water it again. Just put some more water in it. So far it's doing okay. It has a lot of crusty stuff going on down there, but I think because it's so deep in this pot here, you can't really see all the dead stuff. You know, you just get to see the nice green stuff on the top. And this big old plastic pot is actually what my philodendron squamiferum came in, but I don't like this for that. It kind of keeps it too moist, but it's perfect for this fern because it's keeping it really moist like it needs to be. So this is one I really hope doesn't die because it was a gift, but I don't know. His fate is in my hands, I guess. I was gonna say your fate is in your own hands, but it's not, it's in mine. But anyway, that is it. That is my fern collection, my saddest, most struggliest collection of plants. But I love ferns. I love the way they look. I always want to try them out because I think this is gonna be it. This is gonna be the time I'm gonna do really well with it. I've mastered it. I know how to take care of ferns because I can take care of this one. You know what I mean? But yeah, I'm encouraged still though, because it seems like some of them are gonna do okay. But yeah, that is it. Let me know what you think. Let me know your fern care tips down below. I would love to know. But let me know the genus of plants that you struggle with the most. I would love to know what it is so I don't feel alone, and I would love to know if it's ferns especially. But that is it. Thank you so much for watching this video. If you enjoyed it, don't forget to give it a thumbs up. Let me know what you think of this setup because I'm kind of loving it. And don't forget to subscribe so you don't miss the next video. I'll see you in another video. What am I doing? Goodbye. Just end it. Goodbye.